Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Why More DOMs Are Choosing Veryon Tracking. We're excited to have you here, and my name is Danny. I'll be your moderator for this session. A quick few housekeeping items before we get started. This session will be recorded and sent out after the presentation, and if you have any questions, please be sure to drop them in the chat. All right, we'll just wait a couple of seconds, Brandon, to let people jump in. Um, but while we are waiting, let's focus on the agenda. We're going to talk about what's slowing maintenance teams down, go over our Veryon tracking product demo, a look into our 2025 product roadmap, how we support our customers, most importantly, and then we'll finish up with a little Q&A. So now to introduce our host, Brandon Watson, Veryon Tracking Product Manager, can you please share a little bit about your background and what brought you to Veryon?
For sure. Thanks, Danny, for the intro. Since I was young, I've always been very passionate about aviation. And had it not been for a weak stomach, I probably would have been a pilot. But working on the ground has been just as rewarding. Before joining Varion, I worked for a trucking telematics company heavily dedicated to connecting data and making better business decisions based on that data quality. I've been in product management for over 14 years, but actually started out working in the airline industry in flight operations for American Airlines as a crew scheduler, and then later transitioning to instructional design training for above and below the wing operations. I've always wanted to get back into aviation, and Varion was actually the perfect fit for me.
That's really great. Thank you so much for sharing, and let's get into it. And first up is what's slowing maintenance teams down. We know that improving efficiency is a top priority for everyone, but the real challenge is identifying where maintenance teams are running into the biggest slowdowns. So let's walk through maybe the top four areas that we hear about the most. Let's start with aircraft data. What are some of the biggest challenges DOMs face due to a lack of real-time data?
Yeah, so many teams rely on spreadsheets, phone calls, or outdated system reports, leading to decisions based on stale data. The lack of real-time visibility means unexpected delays. If an aircraft issue is reported, but the latest logs aren't accessible, teams can't act quickly. And really disconnected systems force teams to manually input or verify information, which increases the risk of errors and wasted time. When teams don't have real-time data, they're constantly reacting instead of proactively managing their maintenance. And that leads to longer turnaround times, more aircraft downtime, and ultimately increased costs.
Definitely. Even when teams might have the most up-to-date aircraft data, we know that outside support is still necessary. So what happens when maintenance teams can't get timely support?
Yeah, many teams deal with delayed responses or have to go through multiple layers just to get help, which wastes valuable time for everyone. A lot of providers offer limited support hours or outsource their help desks, making it even harder to get fast, knowledgeable assistance. Your operation runs 24/7, so your support should as well. Teams need access to experts anytime, not just during standard business hours. So, when maintenance teams can't get fast, reliable support, it just slows everything down. And unresolved issues lead to longer aircraft downtimes, inefficiencies, and increased frustration for the entire operation.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Next up, we have paper-based processes. And we found that a lot of operations are still using paper for critical tasks. So what kind of impact does that have on their day-to-day operations?
Yeah, paper records are easily lost, damaged, or misplaced, which creates unnecessary delays when teams need that critical information handy. And really, manual processes mean technicians spend extra time filling out paperwork instead of focusing on actual maintenance tasks. And paper-based workflows make it harder to track compliance and audit history, increasing the risk of missing regulatory requirements. So, without digital workflows, maintenance teams are operating at a disadvantage. Paper will always slow response times, limit visibility, and increase potential risk, especially when it comes to compliance and unplanned audits.
Even when teams do move away from paper, The next biggest challenge is dealing with disconnected systems. So, how does jumping between different platforms impact efficiency for maintenance teams?
Yeah, so when systems don't integrate, technicians waste time searching for information instead of working on their aircraft. There's also the risk of duplicate data entry between platforms, increasing the possibility of errors and miscommunication. Without seamless integrations, teams don't have a clear real-time picture of their operation, making it harder to plan and make informed decisions. So really, if I could sum it up, disconnected systems create more work, not less. And without seamless integrations, teams spend more time managing data than maintaining aircraft, leading to inefficiencies, delays, and higher operational costs.
Yeah. Those seem like four big challenges that operations everywhere are trying to fix. So let's shift gears and look at how top teams are solving these issues using Veryon tracking. So please, Brandon, I will hand it over to you to do a product demo for us.
Perfect. So let me just make sure I get the right screen here.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I see
And
it.
hopefully you're seeing that now.
Yep, it looks like we're good.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, Danny. And first, I just want to say thank you to everyone that is joining us today. It really is great to be with you this afternoon. And I'm glad that we get a chance to walk you through how Veryon Tracking can help you get more uptime and really sidestep the typical blockers that are slowing you down. And just so you're aware, we're just going to scratch the surface here. We're not going to go into anything deep or detailed. But if you are interested in learning more after this demo, we can certainly set that up for you. So when you first log into tracking, you're able to see very quickly which items that need your attention based on a number and a color. The first group of tiles are around maintenance items that are or would be scheduled, followed by non-routine maintenance items like discrepancies and MELs. And clicking on any of these tiles takes you directly to the list of items that you would want to take action on. I'm also able to see tasks that have been assigned to me or my technicians that I need to get to work on. I'm able to see all the aircraft in my fleet and take action on any aircraft in my fleet from this page. Um, and then if I needed to add a non-routine, report times, or update the aircraft availability, I can do that in one click from here. Um, and then clicking on an aircraft shows me items due for that specific aircraft and allows me to view any item in more detail and take action on that when I choose. Um, and then from here, clicking on View Item, I can see work completed and any work orders associated with that particular maintenance item. If I want to see or create an entry in the logbook for any work completed, um, I can easily do that um, by clicking into logbooks and then creating a new logbook for new maintenance and work done just by going in through here. Moving over to inventory, as I click on the information center in inventory, I can see at a bird's eye view everything I would need to know about open purchase orders to items that are low in stock. I may want to know which parts I have on hand and if I'm getting low on those parts. And the list of purchase orders shows me the vendors I'm dealing with and the status of that particular purchase order. So going into purchase orders itself, I can also track where items are in the shipping process and how much it's all going to cost. A handy tracking order or tracking number is here, as well as where that item is and where it's going to be coming from and where it's going to, all show up in this area right here. Going over into the item catalog, this will show me all the parts I have in stock and the amount I have ordered. You can also see how many items you have in stock and create thresholds to know when you're getting low, which helps, or low in stock, and which also really helps you with your organization to be more efficient. Um, Managing your work is easy when you have Work Center enabled. And so when I open up work orders into Work Center, I can see all open items and their status. When I go into a work order, you can see that the UI is very intuitive and I can see items that I have to do. items that are done, and any open assignments I may have not started yet. When I right click on an item, I can easily add an item to an invoice or even update the status that I have in that particular area. I can create custom statuses to track items I'm working on and can easily track my progress as I complete those tasks. I can easily bill for the work that's been done by going to invoices um, right here, which then shows a list of work that's been completed, and then going into an invoice shows more detail and the status of the invoice sent to that particular customer. All the modules that I've shown you are integrated with each other so that you can track your work and your aircraft across the platform that conforms to your individual workflows that you have at your organization. And not only is tracking integrated within the Veryon platform, but it's also integrated with other products. So when I go to my do list, I can then right click on an item in the do list, and I can access the tech pubs integration that we have to easily see ATA codes and any AD-SBs that have been released related to any parts that I need to fix, which saves a ton of time when needing to know that information right away. We also integrate with a number of flight ops vendors like Airplane Manager and Jet Insights that can push hours and cycles data to you even more and give you even more control over your operation. One more thing that I wanted to show you before jumping over to the roadmap is how we let our customers know when we have new features that have been released and how we gather feedback from our customers directly from the product. And so you'll see that there's this little floating question mark down here. If I click on that question mark, this resource center pop-up opens up. If I click on feature announcements, this gives me a list of different features that have been released recently that have release notes. And also, if I click on the actual little button that's related to that release note, it will actually walk me through the product and show me exactly how to get to that feature, how to use that feature, and shows you the value of what that feature is going to bring now that it's been integrated and released into the product. The other thing that I wanted to show you was news and events, which would give you more information about upcoming webinars like you're listening to today. And then the last thing is this feedback portal. So if I click on feedback, it actually opens up this large window portal that allows you to browse and vote on ideas that we as a product team are trying to get validation on. It's broken out into the different areas of our product. So if there's different ideas that we would like to get feedback on around maintenance or inventory or even work center, you can easily click between each of these areas here. And you'll notice that there's a gathering feedback session and there's an on the roadmap section. So let me talk about gathering feedback first. So these are different tiles that we as a product team are thinking about doing as showing ideas to the customer that we want to gather feedback and get votes on. So if I click on this bulk change inventory status tile, it'll tell me a little bit about what that thing does. And then it allows me to cast a vote on whether this is a must-have, a nice-to-have, or not interested in having it. If I click must-have, it'll allow me to enter in some more thoughts or opinions that I have about this particular item. And then when I click submit, this then shade becomes blue, and it's an indication to you as the user that you've actually voted on that item so that when you come back to this area, you'll know that you've already voted there. This on the roadmap section are items that are on our roadmap that we are looking to implement in the near future. And it also allows you to vote on those items that we would be implementing in the future in the product. So that ends the demo part of this. And I think we're going to go over to the roadmap section of our webinar now.
Yeah, here we go.
Perfect. So you'll notice some different shades of colors as we look at what is committed to be built, features that are in the discovery phase of planning, and items that we're considering to build as you look out further in the year. So there's kind of this black shade, kind of a darker gray, and then a lighter gray that you'll see there. So starting in the maintenance area, we have heli enhancements, which center around being able to edit the order of installed equipment on an airframe and implementing a hierarchical order so that the parts follow the engine, both of which have been requested by a number of our heli customers. We just released a new version of our mobile app after successfully migrating to a new platform for increased stability on that platform going forward. We also have some new functionality in the non-routine area where you can create pre-canned notes for frequently repeated discrepancies, saving you precious time during that performed operation. Looking at Work Center, we're focusing on other asks like adding an ad hoc item library, which was actually going to be built during our post MVP launch of this product, but we just didn't really have a chance to build that during that MVP process. But we are all also focusing on creating a calendar view to enable the visualization of maintenance due dates and scheduled work orders, making it easy to drag and drop those items anywhere on the calendar within the Work Center module. On the inventory side, we're delivering on the capabilities that help our customers save time and be more efficient with bulk updates in the vendors area of the product. We're also looking to add permissions to only allow certain individuals the rights to approve purchase orders, and that will help your operation run efficient and give you more insight and control over who is doing what in your organization. Looking beyond to the second half of 2025, features like actionable notifications across the platform and parts tracking on the inventory side of the business are things that we are currently evaluating and starting to look at as we plan and build out the rest of the year.
Wow. Thank you so much again for the product demo and a look into our roadmap. And as you've seen, like our commitment to innovation doesn't just end with product features. It extends to how we partner with our customers every step of the way. So Brandon, can you even share a little bit more detail about what Veryon's relationship is with our customers?
Sure. Yeah. So definitely we offer seamless onboarding that helps teams migrate their data, verify accuracy, and get up and running without the typical headaches of switching systems. We have 24/7, 365 US-based support that our in-house maintenance experts provide. And we also have real knowledgeable answers when teams need them. Like there's no waiting on outsourced call centers. We have dedicated teams to answer your call as soon as you call us. When customers get stuck, we offer ongoing training and resources, whether it's in-app feature guides, like I showed you a little bit earlier, dedicated success managers, or free training opportunities. We want to make sure that teams get the most out of the platform. And lastly, Veryon is committed to being customer driven and innovative. And as I showed you in the product just a second ago, with the feedback portals, we actively listen to feedback and use it to shape future updates so teams see real improvement that matters to their daily operations. And I just wanted to end with, great software isn't enough. We truly believe teams deserve the right support to keep everything running smoothly, whether it's, day one or years down the line. Our goal is to make sure customers always have the help they need when they need it.
Great. Now I think it's time that we open it up for questions. So again, if you haven't already, please drop your question in the chat and then we'll get through as many as we can. Brandon, I think we have a few minutes left before our time is supposed to end today. So let's start with this one. Going back to the Work Center module and the statuses, can you have custom statuses just based on whatever your operation needs?
Yep. Work Center allows you to create any type of custom status. You can also have it be different colors, different titles, and those can definitely be implemented depending on what your operational needs are.
Cool. The next one I see here is will switching systems impact the value of my aircraft?
Yeah, typically switching maintenance systems doesn't devalue the aircraft at all, but really it comes down to incomplete or incorrect records that can. I think teams that are using Excel spreadsheets or other type of Google Sheets to manage their aircraft would definitely see an increase in the value of their aircraft if they were to come over to a system like Veryon. Comprehensive data enhancements, comprehensive data, really enhances the aircraft value, and our maintenance software really helps with that.
Great. We know that the onboarding time can vary depending upon type of operation, how many aircraft, what aircraft they are. But what is the onboarding process like at Veryon?
Yeah, so transitioning to Veryon Tracking is a very seamless and hassle-free process. We provide a white glove treatment to our customers. We typically have a welcome call that explains everything that's going to happen during that onboarding process. We
Mhm.
offer dedicated support, data enrollment, and data validation on all of the different type of aircraft that you might be bringing over into the system.
Yeah. The last one I'm seeing in here is, do I get a dedicated analyst for my account?
No, but we offer 24/7, 365 customer support and unlimited user training.
Mhm.
And we also have, in-house technical record and data quality team members that are very experienced with aviation maintenance. We have directors of quality, directors of maintenance, and AMPs, analysts. So whoever you get on the phone with, you should feel very comfortable that you're going to be taken care of. Varion takes a team model approach. Nothing is more frustrating than when you need an answer ASAP and your dedicated analyst is on vacation or out sick or busy with other customers. We provide a team of analysts who can assist you on any product at any point at any time.
Brandon, I think that brings us to about at time. So I appreciate you sharing all of your knowledge, not even just from the product side, but our customer success and support side as well. And thank you everyone here for attending today too.